my name is Amy from Korean Things.
Hi, I'm Sam.
Last week, I was reading posts about Korean language issues and I saw someone ask a question about 당신, which means you in Korean. He probably heard from somewhere that using 당신 for a stranger could be very rude and he was wondering why. So we will introduce words you can use when you call a stranger. As I told you, 당신 literally means you in Korean. But do you usually say 당신 for stranger, 선생님?
I never use 당신, but old couple call each other 당신.
That's right. Young couple don't call their boyfriend or girlfriend as 당신, but people in my parents' age, right, call their spouses or partners 당신. And some Korean love songs use 당신 for sweethearts, right? We don't use 당신 for a stranger, even though it means you in Korean, because it could be very rude to them when you use 당신 for a stranger. Then what would you call a stranger when you refer to someone you don't know? Sam, what do you usually say?
저기요 is the best. This is the most common word.
Right, I agree that. 저기요 literally means here or there. And it's like a word to grab someone's attention, like excuse me. And we will show you some situations where you can use 저기요 in real life.
저기요,
네.
슈퍼 어디로 가요?
슈퍼요. 슈퍼 쭉 밑으로 내려가시면 돼요.
저기요, 차 좀 빼주세요.
네. 저기요. 단무지 좀 더 주세요. 저기요. 단무지 좀 달라니까요. Then what word can you use for someone you know? First, name plus she is a polite way to call someone. My name is Amy, so it becomes
에이미 씨.
Amy 씨. Let's say you meet someone and you barely know him, but you know his name. Then you can start calling him using name plus she.
Yeah.
However, you cannot use she for someone who is much older than you. Let's say you know your mother's friends and you know her name, but do you call your mother's friends using she?
No.
No? What happens if you call them like that?
그러면 큰일 나죠.
큰일 나죠.
교육 잘못 받았다고 엄마한테 잘못
혼나죠. Yes. So using she is very polite, but you can only use she for someone who is younger than you or someone who is around your age. Then what did you call them?
아줌마?
아줌마.
아줌마.
Right. Yeah, 아줌마. So we have words 아줌마 and 아저씨.
Yeah.
We prepare some cards and pictures for 아줌마 and 아저씨. So 아저씨 means an old and married man.
Yeah.
Right? And 아줌마 means an old and married woman. So you can see the pictures and guess their age. So you could use 아줌마 or 아저씨 to neighbors who are much older than you, or you can use 아저씨 or 아줌마 when you call your mother's or father's friends. But if you are ready to be very, very friendly and then make them feel happy, then we have different options. We have a word 언니 and 오빠. So 언니 means
elder sister.
and 오빠 means
elder brother.
so you can see the pictures and then guess their age group, right?
Yeah.
And only girls use 오빠 or 언니. And for boys, they can call elder sister 누나 and elder brother 형. You can also use these words even though someone is not blood related.
Once you get closer to someone enough, you can switch the title from first name plus she to 언니, 오빠, 누나, or 형. However, you should be allowed to address them using these friendly titles.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
이름이 어떻게 되세요?
저 하선미입니다.
선미 씨.
네. 저 언니라고 불러도 돼요?
그럼 난 이름 불러도 돼?
네, 그럼요. 그러면 미정 언니?
그럼 난 선미야?
미정 언니!
선미야!
Even though you can start calling someone with these friendly titles, it doesn't mean you can use 반말, the informal speech. It also needs agreement between two parties.
If you're very close to someone who is younger than you, you can call her or him by his name or her name. But we put a or ya after the names. It all depends on the last syllable of the name, right? If the last syllable of the name has 받침, the ending consonant, we put a. And if the last syllable of the name doesn't have any 받침, then we put
야, 미정아, 선미야.
미정아, 선미야. We call younger people like that. Okay? And I told you we can use 아저씨 or 아줌마 for someone who is much older than you. But let's say you call them one of these 오빠, 언니, 형, 누나 by mistake. Most of them don't feel bad about this. But instead, some of them even love to be called like that because these kinds of words make them feel like they are young for their age.
아마 그렇게 부르면 한국 생활이 되게 편해질 겁니다. 뭔가 언니 오빠들이 많은 걸 줄 거예요.
그쵸?
김치도 주고 밥도 주고.
There are some situations where you can call an old lady 이모.
이모.
Even though she is not your real aunt. I sometimes call 이모 for an old lady working at a restaurant. Have you ever called someone 이모 even though she's not your real aunt?
There's a cleaning lady at work. I call her 이모.
진짜? So there is one more word we use for a stranger to be very friendly. 사장님 means an owner of a shop or store. But when we go to a restaurant or a store, we call a staff working there 사장님.
네.
Even though he's not a real 사장님. So
사장님.
예, 사장님. Whether he's real 사장님 or not doesn't really matter.
어쨌든 사람이 옵니다. 내가 사장이 아니어도 옵니다.
그쵸? When you go to a restaurant, words you can use is 사장님 or 저기요
or 이모.
or 이모.
저기요. 저기요. 언니. 언니. 누나. 누나. 오빠. 오빠. 형. 형. 아저씨. 아저씨. 아줌마. 아줌마. 이모. 이모. 사장님. 사장님.